Walter Masterson's out there doing the damn thing, talking to MAGA voters. Here is Hogwatch once again.
I think my daughter should be learning what consent is.
No, that's ridiculous.
Does anyone care about the migrant crisis in this country? Has anyone personally been affected by it?
How has it affected you personally?
It hasn't.
So what's happened to you?
Well, nothing personally.
If Democrats do somehow steal this election again, there will be a civil war.
So you would support like health care for all?
I guess I would, yeah.
Taylor Swift is a psyop.
Yes.
That's right, baby.
Take this country back, everyone.
Okay, there you go. There's the Walter who knows how to say words.
Yeah, we're taking this country back.
Michigan, baby.
Michigan. It could be colder.
Donald Trump said it himself when he quoted 2 Chronicles 7:14, which is one of my favorite verses out of the Bible. It says that if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves.
Being humble really is
It's
important.
number one. The Bible says he doesn't humble you. The Bible asks you. God says, ask us to humble ourselves, and his ability to actually have happen.
Donald Trump, famously humble guy. When I think of words to describe the former president of the United States of America, humble is the one that comes to mind immediately, I think. That is precisely the one I think of. Humble. And also, the second word that comes to mind is how not self-interested he is, how selfless he is. Oh, regular old Joe.
No, that's not. Is that him? We'll know because we'll know if it's his plane because it says Donald Trump on it. Yeah.
Which is very humble.
I'm sorry. Wait, we were talking about humility.
Yes.
Oh, so yeah, humility.
So the
Humility.
Bible calls us to actually humble ourselves.
You don't need to be teaching children about consent. Six is time.
I think these teachers are predators.
Yeah.
These teachers are predators for teaching.
ABCs, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're teaching
it at that.
my daughter about consent.
consent.
Yeah.
But there's like the consent about
Yeah, like
Without-
what is consent?
without your parents knowing what the teachers are doing. Is it a sexual term? Yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah, like so you know what consent is?
No.
Oh, okay. So consent is like like if someone is gonna
Putting a banana in a vagina.
yeah, and that but you have to consent to that. Yeah.
Say like, yes, that's okay.
Yes, that's okay, or no, that's not okay. And if you don't give consent, then it's like rape or something.
Right.
My daughter, they're teaching her.
Bro. They're so fucking dumb, dude. It's just like they're so stupid. I don't know what to say about this other than like, God, I miss Trump supporters so much. They used to come into the chat all the time.
About consent.
Have you heard of this? How old is your daughter?
That's a great question. You know what? How old should she be? How old do you? What
18.
age? So 18, then she can learn about consent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until then,
Thank you. Then,
anyone should get their ass beat.
Technically,
Yeah,
I
until
believe
then,
that
she
technically
shouldn't-
the age of consent in Michigan is 16.
No, she shouldn't be
but
learning
still.
what is consent.
Well, right. How old is she though?
Yo, that's sus. That's sus. Bro, what the fuck? Bro. Photographic memory when it comes to age of consent in each individual state is wild, okay?
Like
13, and
No.
that's too young to be teaching someone a child like about consent. What is consent?
Well, they want to mutilate our children too.
Yeah.
Teach them that they should transition. That's the solution to whatever issues they may or may not have, and they do permanent damage to our kids, and that's a shame.
It's Luciferian. That's
yeah.
what it is. It's called manufactured consent. It's a seduction routine.
Wait,
and
what?
The worst, it's very Luciferian, and it's very hard for a lot of people to wrap their minds around it because most people in the world...
It's called the People's History of the United States, right? You know, I'm talking about the real history, the people's history, not the history they teach in our schools. That's why I'm a QAnon conspiracy theorist, MAGA Trump supporter. Because of Howard Zinn and what's that other guy's name? Noah Chomsky? Manufactured consent. Is this one of those MAGA communists? No, I'm just kidding. Of course not. She doesn't know what the fuck she's saying.
Do not grasp the concept how evil a lot of people are that get into positions to be able to say that it's okay to show pornography to children.
What did you say the age of consent was in Michigan?
I think the age of consent is 16 in the state of Michigan. It's different from federal
Looking
law.
we're talking to young voters and stuff about the woke indoctrination. Are you in school?
Yeah.
What's it like with all this woke indoctrination stuff?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
What does it look like?
It's bad. It looks bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Like specifically, like what is it? Like what are they doing to you?
It's just terrible stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Give like such as?
Yeah. I mean, we're just looking for like an example of like what's going on in your school. Like what are they doing to you?
Terrible stuff.
Yeah.
Somehow, as
What the
MAGA
fuck are they
Republicans,
doing,
we're
bro?
kicking cow poop off our boots, using the N-word and anti-LGBTQ+, and that's ridiculous. Stay away from our kids till they're 13 years old. The bottom line is, let's teach anatomy, right? And let's let people make their own decisions about what they want to do with their lives.
I had to deal with that with my daughter's thing. So she does child beauty pageants. Recently, in the swimsuit competition things, someone came in. This girl was wearing a rainbow bikini, and it totally distracted everyone. Distracted my daughter. She nearly like fell off the pole, and ruined everything.
It's ridiculous. It's essentially, it's grooming is what it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. We've got to get back on the tracks. We need common sense back.
In my daughter's school, they're teaching consent, and I don't think my daughter should be learning what consent is.
No, that's ridiculous. That's
it's
not
like-
something for the schools. Let's
Yeah.
stick with math, reading, writing,
Yeah, whatever happened to science and math. They're teaching my
technology.
daughter what
Yes.
is consent.
It's ridiculous.
My daughter, they're teaching her consent. And
Yeah, I'm angry. You're right, brother. Don't teach these children what consent is. After all, that is a big part of why a lot of conservatives don't like sex ed, you know?
I was like, this is ridiculous.
Just think about that.
You shouldn't, stick to science, stick to math. You don't need to teach my daughter about consent.
No, school's about just learning the basic shit, right?
My daughter right now, they're teaching her consent,
Yeah.
which is like ridiculous. It's like, girls shouldn't be learning about consent.
Yeah, like non-binary and stuff, it's terrible.
What's the biggest issue for you right now as a voter?
I believe immigration is a huge problem right now.
What's one of the biggest issues for you right now as a voter?
Border security.
The border.
The border, definitely.
What's your biggest concern as a voter?
Probably the border.
I would have to say probably the illegal immigration.
What's the biggest issue right now that you want to see solved?
Closing the border.
What's one of the biggest issues you care about as a voter?
Build the wall. Build the wall.
Build the
Build the
wall.
wall. That's the most important thing.
The migrant crisis, how has it affected you personally?
Nothing.
It hasn't.
Personally, I don't think I've been personally affected yet.
Wait, why not?
Yet.
Well, there's no services being used in the small town that I'm used. They haven't overwhelmed my little small town. They
Yeah.
haven't affected my work yet or anything like that. However, it's affected me thinking that it's possible there could be terrorists coming through there.
Dude, it's so funny. It's like my imagined fears need to be addressed. It's like 90% of American politics. Half the country, unironically, is like being fed a healthy dose of paranoid delusion from mainstream media, and they just like consistently get hopped up on said paranoid delusions, create these fucking fantasy scenarios in their minds, And then we have to sit there and act like they're being normal. They sit around and make up new things to be afraid of. It's crazy. It's like a child's brain. It's like, oh, well, I went to sleep and I imagined a scary dream and now I'm scared. Except now that's like dictating policy. Great. Okay. That's cool. The Democratic Party should basically lean into that and try to win some of these voters, maybe.
We're looking for people that had, a personal story about how they're affected by the southern border and the border crisis. Does anyone here have a story?
No.
What's the number one issue you have as a voter?
Letting people on the border, on immigrants.
Have you been personally affected by the migrant crisis?
Not so far. I haven't seen anything.
Does anyone have a personal story of how they were affected by the migrant crisis?
Does anyone care about the migrant crisis in this country? Has anyone personally been affected by it?
We all are personally affected by it.
Oh, good. Do you have a good story about it? We're trying to get one person to tell us their personal.
I don't have a direct story, but gotta find someone with a direct story.
I know, that's what we're trying to do. That's why we're calling out, bothering people. But someone's gonna have one. It's so important, to all of us. It's my number one issue.
What are you looking for?
We're looking for someone with a personal story about the migrant crisis or the border.
I do not have a personal story.
Yeah, because everyone cares about it, right? It's like our number one issue. Yeah. Does anyone have a personal story about the migrant crisis? Anyone?
That was so funny.
If we can't find a single person with a person.
She's so personally deflated when she's like, yeah, sorry, I don't have a migrant story where an immigrant raped me. One day, though, maybe I can come back to you, give you something personally, maybe they stole my gerb or they stole my catalytic converter or something, I am very scared, though. One of them literally says, I wish it did. Yeah, I wish I did. I saw that.
Hey, I'll tell you something. I'm from Canada. It took me a half hour to cross the border legally. Okay? And meanwhile,
wait, hang on. Do you guys know this guy?
No.
Dude, I love the fit you have on. Your work fit is fucking hilarious. Marat comes in with a tucked in polo tee every day. Oh, he found one.
Oh, no. And Canada, it took me a half hour to cross the border legally. Okay? And meanwhile,
wait, hang on. Do you guys know this guy?
No. I can show you my driver's
Okay,
license.
we should vet him. Coming across our border, stealing our jobs, going to our rallies.
Here's my health card from Canada.
Oh yeah, what's that like, by the way?
What's that?
What's that health?
What? No! Bro! Are you for fucking real? Bro! He said it took him 30 minutes to get over the border. Dude, why does this always happen, bro? Why does this always happen? Canada is not sending their best, dog. Straight up, dude. Oh my God. Canada is always sending their fucking worst, brother. $30 minutes of demoralizing travel with your worldly possessions and paying your entire life savings. I can't believe he's upset about crossing the border in 30 minutes. Like, bitch, have you flown into LAX? The fuck do you mean 30 minutes? Am I crazy? I feel like I'm an American citizen. I come back into the United States of America. That shit is not taking 30 minutes, dog. I'm talking like from the moment that the plane touches the ground to like getting out of LAX. That's like a 2 to 3 hour process sometimes on international travel. I was in Japan. I met 3 Canadian software engineers that work in Seattle who told me they would vote for Trump because of the border crisis.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Coming across legally takes you forever. They grill you.
Wait, they grill you? Like it's really intense?
Yeah. They grill you. Want to know what you know? Open the trunk, open the windows. Let's see what's in the car.
Sounds like they're doing it right by.
He's using it as a comparison, saying, why don't they come over legally? No, dude. He's saying legal immigration takes a really long time, okay? And that's partially because of these illegal immigrants that are ruining it for the rest of us. I don't think you understand the level of mania that he's operating on. He's literally saying a 30-minute border crossing is only that long and annoying for him because of all the people that are fucking crossing the border illegally. That's what he thinks. Which is hilarious because, yes, the length of the legal asylum seeker process is unironically causing illegal immigration into the country. Now, what I find particularly strange about this is that he doesn't recognize that, and he thinks that the 30 minutes of inconvenience that he has is far worse than the 13-year-long process it takes for some people to legally come into the country. Oh. This tweet for me shows how fucking silly the border crisis is. Biden banned travel from South Africa because of a new COVID variant. Immigrants have recently been apprehended crossing our border illegally from South Africa. Biden is doing nothing to stop immigrants from South Africa entering illegally. Pure politics and hypocrisy. Yeah. What do you mean? There's a massive influx, dude.
By that border.
Oh, they're doing it right. But my point is, I'm just a middle-class Canadian, and they're giving me crap. And meanwhile, anyone can come across the southern border.
Well,
yeah, dude, you just said you're not letting him explain his position. I got it right.
Next time you should fly to Tijuana and then drive back up.
Exactly.
I haven't personally been affected, but I don't like the fact that the drugs are affecting millions.
Personal? Anyone? No? No one? You have one? You have a personal story about the border?
I don't have a personal story about the border, but I was really pissed off that one judge, Carney Barrett, when she struck down the border thing in Texas because it was so important that we need.
We're trying to get personal stories about the migrant crisis.
Anyone have a good one?
The migrant crisis, is anyone? So you've been
I don't have a
Oh, you're yeah, okay.
Does anyone have a good personal story about the migrant crisis? We're trying to get one for our podcast. Like something that happened to them or maybe someone they know. Just happened to you or happened to a friend? No?
We want to see if anyone's had a personal story where the migrant crisis affected them. So
I wish I did.
I wish you did too. Has anyone here been personally affected?
I wish I did. Yo. I wish I did, brother. Them sexy ass salsa dancers, I wish they would put me down. You know what I'm saying? I dream about a future where that happens to me. I want to be victimized. Ooh. It's so sick. It's so fucking dope. Yeah. I wish something would happen to me so I can substantiate my irrational fears is hilarious because that also basically gives the game away twofold. You know that it's an irrational fear when you want to substantiate it. You know it's fake, and you're still believing in it. And the falsehood being real is more important to you than the potential consequence of like being harmed by an undocumented migrant down the line.
Affected by the migrant crisis? Anyone?
How many of you care about a strong southern border? Huh?
Me.
Yeah.
Strong southern
Yeah.
border.
So do you have a thing about? Do you have a story about how the migrant crisis has personally affected you?
Well, I am from New York State, so I get a lot of stories, and I see a lot of stories that's going on with New York State.
So what's happened to you?
Well, nothing personally.
Your family, do they have a personal story?
Yeah, they're trashing hotels. They're trashing motels.
Your family owns these hotels?
No, they don't own any hotels.
So wait, okay, yeah, we're trying to find like someone. We want someone to say like, all right, this is like our hotel and it was trashed and everything, because they're trying to get like.
Otherwise, it's just like he said, she said.
Yeah.
I don't have any personal.
And this is the number one issue you have.
I love this because, dude, he's literally describing No, he's describing what he saw on television, dog. That's it. No, he's describing what he saw on TV. We watched those news articles ourselves. We watched those news reports. They're fucking playing that shit on Fox News on repeat, nonstop. Guys, you're also talking about a group of individuals that have never fucking stepped foot inside of a city and are genuinely terrified of it because they personally think that, like, they think that cities are crime-ridden shitholes, and like they'll immediately get like the knockout game done to them. Okay? So their entire framework and their entire fears come from the TV. That's it. And they're so passionate and they're so outraged by what the TV man is telling him.
As a voter.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, number one issue.
We'll have like a personal story about how they were affected.
Yeah, I don't.
You
I
have
don't.
it? Oh, okay.
I don't.
Thank you.
What is your number one issue?
Pardon?
The number one issue you have as a voter.
I don't want it. I want the wall.
The illegals that are everywhere.
Yeah, I have my.
I do have respect for Walter not doing the fucking like, oh well, Biden is pushing for the wall, even though I guess in the situation it would still fit. You know what I mean? To like, just to see their reaction. But I live in Michigan and I do support a strong southern border with Ohio though. Hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
My
too.
family has a property near the border, and these illegals cross through the property, and I defend myself against them. I shoot at them. And I'm worried if Biden gets reelected, that I'm going to get prosecuted for hitting some of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's why he can't.
That's why he can't get elected.
That's right.
Yeah, really. I have property by the border. It's a family property, and illegals or migrants come over the property, and we shoot at them. And I'm worried that if Biden gets reelected, I'm going to get.
I think one of the craziest parts about what Walter's doing here is that, yeah, he is lying, except he's actually not lying. He's not shooting at the fucking migrants, but there is a guy in California who did do that. He's describing a real story that we watched on 60 fucking minutes. It's not him, but he is basically describing a real person.
Get prosecuted or something for shooting at them.
For something you have every right to defend.
And I'm worried that if Biden gets reelected, I'm going to get prosecuted for the people that I hit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's
sure
just
you
terrible.
No
I mean, I think I
doubt
hit
about it.
someone last week, and I'm just,
Do you think you did really?
it's just like, and like, but like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Take up arms, protect what's yours.
Migrants cross the border.
Not just that guy, there are multiple vigilante gangs doing this shit.
And they go through my property, and I defend myself. And I'm worried that if Biden gets reelected, I'm gonna, get prosecuted for, shooting at these people.
So it's ridiculous. I mean, we don't really have any issue with migrants. It's illegal immigration, which is what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And we have absolutely
Well,
got to
they're
stop it.
illegals,
We've
yeah.
got to lock the borders
I call them
down.
migrants. You call them illegal.
Well, I mean,
Really worried me. I was like, I hope Biden doesn't get reelected because I think I hit someone as they came over the border. It's been a mess.
I'll tell you this. If Democrats do somehow steal this election again, there will be a civil war. Yeah, it's not going to go over good.
I don't know if you heard about it. In our county, we had a homeless shelter that was being.
The other conservative he's talking to with the zip, with the like the half zip or whatever, the quarter zip. He's running for office. That's why he's like a little bit smarter.
Used to house migrants, and we got it shut down.
Good for you.
Thank
Good
you.
for
Yeah,
you. Great
we
job.
got them all. We had the building condemned, And then they started, camping out in tents outside, so we had the police, evacuate them and push them out of the county completely.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It needs to be done that.
Yeah.
Listen, we have homeless veterans. We have children that are starving.
We had a building inspector come.
Yeah, these people are disgusting because like they're also the first to be like they're also the first to like advocate to assassinate the homeless veterans by way of the police, you know what I mean? They don't give a shit. Nobody gives a fuck. First of all, no one gives a fuck about veterans. Let's be for fucking real. Okay? 22 a day. Just remember, 22 a day. Secondly, they especially don't give a shit about homeless veterans because they literally fucking are advocating against them all the time. The only time a conservative ever cares about any of these issues, whether it be mental health or homeless veterans or anything like that, 22 a day is the number of veterans that kill themselves every single fucking day in this country. Okay? They don't care about non-homeless veterans. They don't care about homeless veterans. They don't care about veterans at all. My point was, they especially don't give a fuck about homeless veterans. They only care about them as long as they can use it as a talking point against something else. That's it. That's literally it. Republicans never bring up issues like real issues that are solvable by legislation that deserve to be solved until they can use it against some other fucking reason. Until they can use it against some other issue that they refuse to solve. Oh, gun control? How about mental health? It's like, okay, do something about mental health. No, fuck you. Immigration? How about homeless veterans? Okay, let's give them homes. Oh, that'd be communism. So why'd you bring it up? Suck my dick, man.
And they condemned the building, evacuated everyone.
Get rid of the migrants?
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
They my heart goes out to the migrants. It really does. I mean, I'm sorry for their situation, but they can't come over here.
Has there always been a conservative movement like MAGA before Trump? They seem outrightly racist and hateful and insane. Yes. This is what the conservative movement always has been. I asked because I started paying attention to politics since 2019. Yes. This is what the conservative movement has always been. The main difference, I guess, with Trump was that Trump was the first time a person in elected office openly spoke exactly like the dudes on the ground that vote consistently and reliably for the Republican Party. That's the major difference. That's why they always say he's so truthful, because he is a dishonest piece of shit that is honest about his dishonesty. Do you understand? He's honestly dishonest. This is something that I have personally experienced in the many years that I've, duked it out, debated people in the marketplace of ideas, and have advocated for socialism in the United States of America. One thing that I came to recognize is that the American audiences and Americans in general, American capitalists, regardless of their class position, look at the corporate structure as inherently undemocratic, but expect it to be. Like, they look at corporations, and if you tell them, like, well, it's not, it's authoritarian, it's a fucking fascist design, like, that's how corporations work, they're like, yeah, it's fine, like, that's what it's supposed to be like. They have way more tolerance for a brutal authoritarian dictatorship when it's a corporation. Yeah, the honest dishonesty is a big reason why my family's voting for him. Yep. Like, they have no framework of analyzing that from the perspective of, like, could this be a democracy? Could there be more democracy here? Could we run this in a better way? Nope.
I love this poncho. Where'd you get it?
Actually, I got it at the fair. Yep, Hillsdale Fair.
And then they started camping outside, the migrants, so we had the police, get them out of the county, push them over. and stuff. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, we have homeless veterans sleeping on the streets. We shouldn't have homeless veterans on the streets over migrants.
And then we had the police kick them out and push them out of the county because they were in tents outside the county, outside the building once it was condemned.
Don't let American citizens do that. They shouldn't let illegals do that. They're trying to make it a one-vote state.
Please ask, should we let Americans do that? Because that'd be real sick. I know what he's doing here, obviously, but I really want to hear them openly be like, well, actually, they shouldn't let Americans do that either. You know what I mean?
Our country, and it's like, no.
Yeah, one person, one vote. So the homeless shelter's completely closed down in my county, so it's like a win-win.
Yes, but where are they now?
Well, they were in tents outside. And so we had to get the police to push them into like the next county and stuff.
Yeah, how about we push them back over the border?
Somebody has to help the homeless veterans. Sometimes everybody needs a little help now and then. What's the difference?
So wait, food stamps isn't socialism?
No, I'm saying there's people who are out there on food stamps. They're getting free insurance and whatever. Why couldn't we help, other people in bad situations as well? If we could.
We don't do it because it's socialism, though. Like we're not a socialist country. That's what we want to be.
Americans has always been known to help people.
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't say you.
So you would
give
support
them free money all the time. But
yeah, but so you would support like healthcare for all.
I guess I would. Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
So housing for all, healthcare for all.
No, not housing for all. That's not
Just
what
Yo, I'm not even joking. She's got to be a landlord or something. That's a real estate developer. Come on. Because wait, not housing.
Just the veterans. Okay, I don't want to misquote you there.
Right. Yeah, we need to take care of veterans.
What's the biggest issue right now that you want to see solved?
Closing the border.
Is this an example of the human nature being innately greedy and selfish? Yeah. Human nature is not innately greedy and selfish, where we have a tremendous amount of collective effort put into society being built. The only reason why we think human nature is innately greedy and selfish is because we exist under a capitalist structure. For those who live under capitalism, the assumption that greed is natural is no different than a coal miner thinking that black lung is natural and human nature. It is a byproduct of our circumstances. It is what we are taught. Anyway, it is what we're taught since birth. However, the right has always been dick bags. Oh, yeah. Here, you want to see some good shit? Wait. Yep. For people who are asking, reactionary conservatism, has it always been this outwardly racist? Yes. The answer is yes. And also outwardly anti-communist, anti-socialist. Some of the people in that photo are still voting. I know. Some of the people in that photo are now the president of the United States of America, Joe Brandon. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's keep going.
Exactly. And digging for resources. Exactly what Trump said. Exactly what he
we're
wants
not
to do
drilling enough.
We're not drilling. Exactly.
We're not drilling enough. It's like has Biden drilled anywhere?
Exactly. We're not getting enough done. The 4 years that Biden has been in office, we haven't got anything done.
It's like he hasn't signed any drilling permits for anything.
Absolutely not. That's why I'm excited for this.
So Trump, it's like we want to see that number double, triple of the amount of drilling permits for oil and natural gas.
Exactly. That's what we need.
We should probably for Michigan, baby.